how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to City Skylines and the Green Power scenario. I hope you're having a good one because I'm excited to be back, man. I'm excited to be back. I've got some ideas for what we can get done today. I'm hoping we can get our hands on another map tile because, I mean, we built something at the end of the last episode that I think is going to help us to actually achieve our goal in this scenario. So let's just jump right into it. Speaking of goals, though, I decided to go ahead and connect this roundabout over here to the industrial zone using a little bridge going over the highway. And I'm kind of thinking this might actually end up being kind of a good thing because it might pull some of the traffic away from over here and allow it to get onto the highway from here. And I hope it does. I hope that's what ends up happening here, because if it does, I mean, it's gonna be good. I punched the microphone arm there. I'm talking with my hands again. I hit the microphone. Anyway, the point is, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be great if we can get some traffic away from this nightmare intersection, which honestly, I'm probably gonna need to redesign. Let's be completely honest. I'm probably gonna need to redesign it. And what I'd probably be inclined to do is move this top section here for going out of the city. Well, no, I was going to say I'd move it to over here, but there's no point in doing that because there's already an exit right there. So I don't know. I don't know what I'd necessarily do with it, if I'm completely honest with you, because it seems like my choices might be slightly limited, is what it seems like. So we'll just leave it be for now. We'll keep an eye on this road and we'll see how that plays out. But the good news is we're sitting at almost 33,000 Sims people population, whatever word I was looking for there. At 34,000, we get another tile, which is great news because I want to bring this road straight over and curve it out to meet this guy. And then we're going to turn this into an entirely new district and area, and it's going to be great, is what it's going to be. Now, we are having some sewage problems, though, so let's just deal with that. When do we get this thing again? Oh, now I really want 34,000 people. Okay, let's get this done. Let's get this sewage situation out of here. How is it how were we dealing with it before? It was these guys, right? It was the advanced inland water treatment plants. Okay, well, let's just throw... Oh, we might have a tiny little bit of water pollution right there. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel good about that. I almost never have water pollution in City Skylines, he says with confidence, not being 100% sure if that statement is in fact true or false. I almost never have it, I'm sure. So I don't know how I feel about sort of potentially having a little bit of water pollution right there. I feel awful. I feel genuinely awful about that. I need to do something about it. Hold on. This water tower can go away and then we're fine. So we have enough sewage treatment. We have enough water treatment. I think we're fine. I'm crisis averted. And there it is. We are a capital city. We've got a new tile. We get ships. We've got universal education. We've got the eco water treatment plants, the eco advanced treatment plants. We've got a harbor. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to getting you for one, and then throwing some other things in here as well. So here's what I want to do. Here's my thinking. I had to pause for dramatic effect there. I want these guys. I want these eco advanced inland water treatment plant things because I don't think they can deal with as much as these guys. Oh, they can. Hold on. So you have pollution 20, noise pollution 15. You have pollution 7. Yeah, that's going to be a lot better. So let's get rid of these guys completely. Same with you. And we'll just go ahead and throw these guys in here instead. Now, I would kind of like to not have all of these treatment plants like right in the middle of not the middle of the city. Regardless, I'd like them to be somewhere else at some point. So they're going to live here for now, but the goal and the hope is that eventually we're going to move them somewhere else. You know, somewhere outside of the city, somewhere like maybe downriver or something like that, because I just think it would be better. But that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing right now is going in here and taking out all of these sections of road, because they all need to go. I'm going to take out the pipes as well, because the pipes just aren't really needed along here anymore. So that all goes away. And then we're going to take all of that away, let it despawn, let it just sort of tidy up a little bit. And then I'm going to bring a road out here. Now I do try to, okay. Let's see what we're doing here. I can't connect that for some reason either. Really? Space already, okay. So that, then that, and for some reason, okay, it'll do that, but all right, whatever. Yeah, we're doing this basically. Now, what I need to do with this is run it to there. And then that's gonna be our curve, I think. So this guy is gonna come down to about there and do that. And that should be pretty good for us, is what that should be. Because what I can go ahead and do is bring a road from, I want to say there. I don't know how good this is necessarily going to work, but that would be pretty much as good as it's going to get before the curve, I think, more or less. It could be better. Regardless, we have a nice space to play with, and that makes me kind of happy. So let's bring this road down here, since we did have that road already, and we can use sort of both of these spaces for whatever we're using them for. And that'll be good. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this. I'm kind of looking forward to getting some new zoning in here and having it be at sort of, I'd say weird angles, but I mean, the weirdest space is going to be that bit. Although looking at it, I also kind of need to fill in all of this space too. And we could probably do with, well, we should probably tidy up that highway as well. Yeah, I'm going to tidy up the highway too. It's sort of annoying me that it's not very neat. So we'll bring it back a little bit. We'll go and do, I don't know, something like that, just so it's nice and even. And then what we can do is bring this guy out by like 30. I guess that's probably, 30 might have been a bit much there, but whatever. Actually 30 was perfect. Oh my God. It's like I know what I'm doing. It's like I've played this game before. I'm actually slightly amazed that I just managed to line that up perfectly. I'm quite happy with myself, I'm not gonna lie. But that'll be fine. And then what we'll do is go from here, and we'll go 12, and we'll go from here, and we'll go 12. We'll cut across those parts. And I mean, I didn't have to do it this way in the slightest, but we're doing it this way. And that's just gonna be the way we measure out the curves. It's just like these sort of 12 by 12 simple curves. They're nothing fancy. I didn't have to measure them in that sort of weird way, but I wanted them to be neat, you know? I wanted them to be kind of exactly right, and now they are. So I think my goal with this area is going to be to just try and get as much density in here as I can, but also to make it kind of a nice area. So I'm gonna leave some gaps around here, and I'm gonna do the usual thing that I do of putting paths around everything so that people can move around. Because I don't know, I like doing that. I like letting people have, you know, the space to walk around an area rather than having to constantly drive around it or sort of take weird paths to get to wherever they're going. So I think that'll be pretty good. And I think what I'm gonna do is something kind of similar on this side. I think that's about the middle. 1760, 18, whatever. What is that? 1760. Okay, so we're not gonna get this side exact, I don't think. What is that? 1680, 1760, 1680, 1760. I need there. Is that the middle? 1680. Yeah, there's no exact midpoint on this, and that's okay. We'll bring this guy up here, and we'll go ahead and just do sort of a similar looking thing over here. This isn't necessarily gonna line up as nicely as the other side, but that's kind of okay. I'm not really too worried about that, because it shouldn't really be perfect. And that, again, that's kind of okay. This space in the middle here, honestly, it could be a park, and I think that'd be kind of nice. Like, have this big sort of open space amongst all of this residential zoning. I think there's something kind of nice about that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking that space can be. This bit I'm not too worried about, and honestly, I don't think we're gonna need to be too worried about it, because let's be honest, it's not all going to build at once anyway, and I should probably let the game run while I'm doing this as well. I still have that habit, you know, as much as I can get into the habit of placing pipes and not, you know, forgetting those, I can't get out of the habit of pausing the game when I'm doing anything. And I do it on everything. I've been playing 2 Point Hospital kind of recently, and every time I'm building something in that, it's like, okay, pause the game. We don't need it running. Or what else have I been doing? I think I did it when I played Overcrowd, that London Underground simulator thing. I think I was pausing the game when I was playing that. I don't remember. It was kind of a while ago. I don't know. It's just a habit that I've always had with this kind of game, is, you know, pausing it. And that's actually something I'd be curious about. What is like your preference when it comes to playing these games? Like, do you do what I do? Do you pause it every time you're trying to do something, or do you let it run? Or are you like, do you have like the hybrid approach of like, you'll pause it sometimes, but not all the time? Because that's something people always say to me as well. It's like, you know, pause it when you need to, but you don't need to pause for every single little thing that you're building. It's such a hard habit to break. At least for me anyway, I find it to be a really hard habit to break. And I don't know why. I honestly don't know where it comes from. It might come from, no, it wouldn't be Sims, because The Sims has always had the like build mode and stuff like that automatically pauses, right? The Sims has never had like a live build mode thing. So it wouldn't be The Sims. It could be Stronghold? I'm wondering if this goes back to like the first ever like management sim builder that I played. I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know where it comes from, and that's interesting to me anyway. Might not be too interesting to you, but it's a little interesting to me, because I'm legitimately trying to figure it out, and I'm at a loss. I don't know. I honestly don't know where it comes from. It doesn't really matter, you know. It's not the end of the world, but I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm curious to know, you know, what is your preference when it comes to this sort of thing. You know, do you pause or do you not? So let me know in the old comments below. And that's my YouTube engagement for the day done. So now we can get on with our regularly scheduled programming. Also, this looks terrible. I don't know what I'm doing with this, but it looks terrible, and I also kind of like it. Kind of. I can't tell if I like this or not. It looks, without buildings in it, it looks kind of terrible, but I'm hoping that with some buildings in here, it might look kind of okay. So we'll find out, is what we'll do. I'm going to put the trees in first, though, is what I'm going to do. I want to have like the trees in here before any of the buildings go up, so that we can, you know, maybe see what the park looks like a little bit better, kind of get an idea of spacing. I just want to. All right, there's no fancy like, oh, you know, we're building the park first because it really gives us a better view of the general aesthetics and layout of them. No, none of that. No, I just want to. I just feel like it. You know, I always build these areas and then build the park. This time, park first, because I can. Simple as that. So we'll throw a couple of trees there. We'll do another couple of little trees there. And I don't know. I just want it to feel like a nice little green oasis, because this is going to be a really dense area. So having a bit of variety in here with trees and just color and nature and all that kind of stuff, it's always been one of my favorite things in not just City Skylines, but just games in general and like design in general. I mentioned The Sims earlier, and one of my favorite things to do in The Sims, there's two favorite things that you might remember me bringing up in some old Sims 4 series here on the channel, but I very much like, how would I describe, like a lived in aesthetic, right? I don't know. I've just completely lost my train of thought of where I was going with that. The point being, I like things to look, you know, lived in, for one. I've caught my train of thought. I was gonna say it wasn't the lived in thing at all. Admittedly, I like the lived in aesthetic in The Sims, but that's not the story that I was going to tell there. The other thing that I like in The Sims is building something that's very clinical. So sort of very, very black and white furniture and walls and all that kind of stuff. And it's something a lot of people do. But you build, the black and white walls and furniture and all that kind of stuff. And then you cover the place in either use plants to bring in a lot of color that way, or you use colorful decorations, or you have a feature wall or something like that just to bring some color in. That's kind of what I'm doing here. We're going to have all these buildings. It's juxtaposition is what I'm getting at. We're going to have all these buildings, and then we're going to have all of this nature. And I think it's going to be lovely. So let's go ahead and just paint in, because we have a good bit of demand for offices. We'll do a nice sort of strip of offices there. We could do a nice strip of commercial right along there. And I think we'll do more commercial sort of in here and kind of along this road as well. I think this entire road can kind of be lined with commercial up to about that spot. And then the rest of it is going to be residential. So every other part of this is going to be residential. And I'm thinking I'm going to do up to there. I was going to leave more of that space open, but I'm going to fill it just to get some buildings with sort of their backs against the park. And then up here is just residential as well. So that should give us a pretty good boost to the population. And it has all of its needs covered anyway. It's got medical, it's got fire, it's got policing. Garbage might be a bit of a struggle, to be completely honest, because the garbage collection is going to have to go from, I don't know, probably over here, to be honest. So it's a bit of a distance, but I think it'll be fine. I'm sure they'll manage. Man, I can't help but feeling that living that close to a really busy highway is going to be just a bit grim. Just really, really grim. Speaking of grim, the graveyards are full at the moment. So let's go. That was a stretch. That segue was seamless. I don't know what you're talking about. We'll go ahead and empty those and claim that land back for something else a little bit later on. And I think what we'll also do is let's go ahead and just clear out all of those spaces and let's fill them with high density residential zoning, because that's pretty much what these areas are going to be. We are going to need to extend the pipes is what we're going to need to do. So we'll kind of bring those down like so. We'll bring you down here as well, and that'll keep us nicely covered. I'm actually going to extend them to the ends of each of the roads, so I can kind of connect them at the end there a bit like that. And that'll give us good water coverage for all of those guys. They can move in eventually whenever it suits them. They're, no pressure, no rush. Just take your time, lads. And they can do their thing. So they can add to the population as well, hopefully. Although generally, it's really this industrial demand here. I'm kind of wondering, hold on, what is the general education level of the citizens? A good number of them are, 42% are highly educated. So I have to imagine, oh my God, university capacity is not as good as it should be. Have we increased the education budget? We have. Well, that's a problem. I'm just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. I'll tell you what we'll do though. Let's go into, I'm gonna say here, let's do a strip of offices, and let's go to, I don't know, I guess here, and we could do a strip of offices, and I guess here as well, and we can do a strip of offices just to try and bring that demand down a little bit and encourage people to start moving into these areas. I'm thinking this area here is going to have to be a big sort of office commercial hybrid zone, so that's fine. That's a thing we can do. I'm just, I would like the population boom from all of this. I'm not going to lie. It would be kind of nice to get the extra population there, but it'll happen. It'll just take a little bit of time. I guess we can start this area well, actually, yeah, no, we can start this. I was going to say we could do some metro, because I do still want to bring a metro line kind of across here and then turn it up and connect it to this station. But we're probably going to want a metro station right in the heart of here. So it would probably make sense to wait. Speaking of metro stations, which ones could I use for this area? It would be nice to use some above ground ones, I'm not gonna lie. Because the above ground metro stations look fantastic. Like, they really look amazing. I love them so much, especially like right there. That fits perfectly. It's a beautiful station, but I don't really have anywhere. I guess there's not a bad spot. It's kind of right at the end of everything. Ooh, right there though. It is a dual line station or a dual platform station or something, but that is an amazing spot for a metro station, to be completely honest. Or elevated bypass station, which unfortunately can't seem to fit in there. That would have been nice. Ground bypass station. You know, no. We're not. Hold on a minute. I do kind of want this thing. No, we're gonna do like this guy. We're gonna do the elevated double thingy station right there. I don't know how I'm gonna connect to it. Genuinely get no idea, because we have no above ground metro right now. But that thing looks good enough that I'm willing to figure it out, is what I'm gonna do. So in terms of above ground metro, I guess we're gonna be looking for one of these guys to go kind of alongside this road. So that's fine by me. That'll probably line up pretty well, to be totally honest. Or do we have any of these guys that can go like properly at the side of a road? We don't really, do we? I mean, this guy can, I guess that guy, this one can kind of go at the side of a road. It's not the worst thing in the world if it goes like there, is it? It doesn't look terrible, does it? It's gonna have to like weirdly cross over this road, but I kind of like it. I do kind of like it, and I kind of want to see if I can make it work. I have my doubts, because that's a big old stretch right there that it kind of has to cross over. But if we could get it to do that, it'd be kind of cool. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing no possible way that this is actually going to work. Because this guy, I mean, how does this connect? So hold on, take out these buildings. I want to look at this. So is this designed to go like this? It doesn't look like it, does it? How does this thing actually connect? Distance too short. Okay, hold on a minute. So if the distance is too short, if I do like a tiny little section, and I go to there, and I go to there, I guess it's sort of meant to be like that. I don't know. I don't know. This might be dumb. This might not be a great idea. Let's be honest. This really, I mean, that looks cool. I think that's just what we're going to do. I think that is just what we're going to have to do. So I'll tell you what, just so we can make this happen, let's bring a section of road down here, and I need it to have like all of its usual snapping points and whatnot. So you go to like there. You're going to move to there, I want to say. Actually, hold on a minute. You need to be more like there. And the reason you need to be more like there is because that potentially positions it in such a place that I can like curve that around. I'm not so sure, actually. Hold on. I think we need to move it again. This is going to be an absolute pain, but it might be worth it. And there we go. We have a metro line up and running. We got a couple of these above ground stations that I think look honestly really cool. I love these things. And then we have this guy just going straight underground. It goes down to a station right about here next to a bus stop, which is kind of useful. It goes to a station here, which is close to a couple of bus stops. And then that guy goes all the way over this way. So we have another one of the platforms on this side now being used, which I think is fantastic. We could, if we wanted to, extend that sort of into this industrial zone, which might not be the worst idea, to be completely honest, just to sort of give, you know, the industrial zone some kind of connection to the rest of the city. So, I mean, we could do, I don't know, we can just go there, I guess, just do like a really basic little station. It doesn't need to be anything too fancy. So we'll bring this guy kind of through to about there and just do a straightforward little curve. And then this guy now goes out that way, and this guy stops there and there. And now we'll have trains kind of going through that space, which I think it's going to look kind of cool. I'm kind of excited to see more trains using these stations. I'm excited to see these stations getting used as well. I absolutely love these things. I know I've already talked about how much I love these stations, but I can't stress it enough, man. I love them. They're so good. You know, we were looking at education a minute ago, and it struck me as a little weird that the university capacity was only 2,750. I have a horrible feeling that we're about to scroll over towards the university and it's going to be burnt down. I love it. You love to see it. Let's rebuild this friggin' thing again. Let's just get it back in here. What is this, the third or fourth time we've had to do this? There we go. We have university capacity again. This freaking game, man. This game. It hates me. It absolutely hates me, is what it does. Drives me nuts as well, is what it does. Now, let's go ahead and do... I'm thinking I'm going to try and keep that area as relatively dense residential. So I'm going to do like a strip in here of a bunch of office zoning. I mean, you can see what I'm doing. But the reason I'm thinking of doing that is because it should give a bunch of jobs to this area. And it also means that I can kind of build up towards the highway with offices and hope that doing that is maybe going to, you know, make the place look a little bit more interesting. Because that is a thing I'm trying to do. I've done it over here. I'm trying to build up towards the highway so that we have like just good density. You know, that's kind of what I'm wanting, is just a good amount of density in here. So we'll do that as well. And I want to put some paths in here. So let's grab this guy. We'll go from about there to about there. And that should be fine. We'll go from here to there. And that'll be fine. These guys can be filled up and, you know, we can do whatever with them. But I'm going to try and do... Oh, that's annoying. Can I do this? No, I can't do that either. I can't do that. I can do that, though. So I think we're going to have some kind of path that goes... Well, I can't do that either. Weird. That'll do. I'll hide it with a path. It'll be fine. We're going to hide our crimes as per usual. We'll bring a path down here as well. I'm not sure how useful that one's going to be, but I'm going to try and, you know, get some interesting sort of paths in here. I'm also thinking, can I use... What have we got? If I go to about there, that connects pretty well. And I think that's okay. And that should be fine. We could probably connect some of these guys together as well, but I'm just going to leave it for now and just fill up this whole area with that office zoning. And that should hopefully deal with the issues that we've been having in terms of there being absolutely no demand for residential zoning. Hopefully. It's a very big hopefully, but it's hopefully going to deal with those issues. I'm also wondering, would it be worth, I guess it probably would be worth putting in some pedestrian paths to kind of cross these areas too. Just sort of every now and then, so that people can just get from one side to the other, because we are probably going to have an intersection here, so they'll be able to cross the road into the other area, and that'll be pretty good as well. So we'll go ahead and let that all build. Actually, no, I forgot the pipes. I forgot the friggin' pipes. After all my talk about not forgetting them and all that, I forgot them. Of course I did. Okay, so this area is building up, which is great. I'm hoping that, yeah, we do have a good number of people wanting to jump on a metro from in there as well. We've got a pretty good number of people up here too, which is kind of great. So hopefully we're going to start to see some residential demand, because we just, there we go. That's what we want. I'm kind of tired of sitting around waiting for these areas to build up. I want to see these places with a good amount of demand, good amount of density when it comes to all of its zoning. So it'll be nice to get that. Although I am thinking couple of trees. Definitely going to want a couple of trees in here because this area is going to look weird if I don't. This area is not really going to have much in it if I don't put some trees in here. So we'll do a couple of those guys. We'll do a couple of those guys as well. We're going to need a lot of trees, honestly, because most of this space is actually going to be empty. So we'll just dot them in, make it a little bit of nature, I suppose. Like what this is over here, you know, you've got this weird bit of nature surrounded by all those buildings, like I was talking about. Honestly, I don't remember if I was talking about it in this episode or the previous episode. I was talking about it in one of them. It was definitely an episode, is what it was. And I've also just realized we could do another bridge. And I feel like we should. I feel like we should do another bridge. I feel like we have the opportunity to do another bridge right here. So I don't know what one we haven't used yet. I mean, that's we've used, I think we've used all but the European 4-lane stone bridge. Is that, yeah, okay, so this is the only one we haven't used, and I feel like this should definitely be a 6-lane bridge, but it's not gonna be, because it's not gonna be. So let's bring this guy up to about there. That seems very steep, but we'll assume that it's not. We'll go to about there. Is that level? Looks pretty level. And we'll bring this guy to there. I don't like that. I don't know how I feel about that. Are these guys different levels by any chance? I think they might be. Let me grab that height. And let me, we've got way too much soil right now. Okay. I guess what we'll do is we'll dump it out sort of over here. This has become my, like, my sort of dumping area when it comes to having way too much soil, is I just sort of build this thing out into whatever. I'm going to regret doing this because at some point I'm going to want this area for something, but for right now, it does the job. Now, let's go ahead and grab this. Let's go ahead and level. Oh my God, the height difference. Oh, wow, the height difference. That's something. I feel like I must have dumped some soil out over here as well at some point, but that's fine. That'll be okay. I'm not too worried about that. We're gonna have to get rid of all that at some point, but for now, that's another bridge is what it is. Now, how am I gonna connect to it? Because we have this guy here, but this guy's not really leaving much. I mean, this guy's gonna have to like curve up and weirdly over, I think. So let's get you, and let me go like 10 that way and 10 that way. And I'm thinking we're gonna have to do like something like this, right? It's gonna be that, it's gonna be weird, is what it's gonna be. Let's maybe do 10 there. Let's do this. I kind of have an idea. I'm thinking this might work. If I take you guys out and I go, oh boy, measuring this is gonna be fun. So that is 10 right there, right? And then what we want to do is go from you, and that is 10 right there, I think. So we want to take those out, and that's okay. Then here, that spot is 10 right there, and from you, that's 440, that's 10 right there. So take those guys out completely. Let's see if I can do like a cheeky little, I say cheeky little, I don't know why cheeky little anything has become part of my vocabulary, but it absolutely has. But we'll do that. We'll do that. And I guess that's okay. It's not an even curve by any stretch of the imagination, but it does the job, and that's kind of all it needs to do. So that's fine. And I guess we could extend the river back if I really wanted to. I don't know if I want to, but I could. And if that building wasn't there, I could also continue this road underneath, because looking at that, oh my God, that lines up perfectly. That lines up perfectly. That's slightly annoying. That is slightly annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I have this beautiful area over here that if I didn't have this one building, I'm not gonna I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not getting rid of the building because that whole area was built around it. But I am going to extend this road up to here to remind myself for the rest of eternity how good that would have been and how good it could be. And I might at some point make that change. For right now, I'm not gonna, but at some point I might, because that's painful to look at. That is painful to look at. So I'm not saying I've given myself the very tedious task of manually placing a whole bunch of trees again, but I've given myself the very tedious task of manually placing a whole bunch of trees again, because I just think it's gonna look good. I think the side of this metro needs a whole bunch of trees. Basically, this road is gonna look weird otherwise. It's probably gonna look weird with them, to be completely honest, but I want a bunch of trees along here, so I'm kind of roughly measuring these out and roughly hoping that they're the right sort of distance apart from each other, because if they're not, too bad as far as I'm concerned. There we go. That actually turned out almost perfectly. Yeah, that looks okay. Just something along there, because we're not going to do buildings along there, so we might as well have something. And then down here we can do, you know, a big tree followed by a couple of smaller trees, maybe throw a little bit of color just sort of there for something a little bit different. That looks all right. It's not fancy, but it's doing the job. It's doing what I wanted it to do. This space here, oh wait, that's supposed to be zoned. Let's take the zoning out of that bit. We'll let that bit be zoned. We'll let this bit be kind of left alone. And actually looking at it, I'm going to try and just double up these trees a little bit here, because I think that's going to look kind of interesting as well. We can actually, oh, we could do it the whole way along. What's even more annoying is I could do it along here as well, but I'm not going to. I'm just not. This was enough. This isn't even that much, but this was enough manual, you know, rows of trees for today anyway. I'll probably fill in this part another time. The good news is that this entire space is starting to fill up, and it's starting to look more and more like a city, which is kind of cool. I'm kind of liking that. I'm also liking this bridge. It's getting a little bit of use. It's pulled a bit of traffic away from this one, which is good. We're still seeing traffic issues kind of in here though, and I think that's just going to be a perpetual thing because of these junctions being so close together. I don't really think there's anything we can do about that. I mean, we could go in, we could say, you know, turn those off and do something like that, you know, put some stop signs kind of in those spaces and let traffic sort of just flow. I don't know how good of an idea that necessarily is going to be in the long run, but I'm certainly going to find out is what I'm going to do. We're certainly going to see how those stop signs end up dealing with traffic. I'm also thinking that a bunch of stop signs in here are probably going to be a bit of an idea to have, because there's not that much traffic in these spaces, so I don't think we need to go too crazy with traffic lights in here. I think stop signs will do the job just fine. Obviously for the main roads we want to do some traffic lights, but you know, stop signs there is fine. We can do the same here as well. There's a bit more traffic in there, I would imagine, but I'm not really too worried about it. And I guess here as well, even though these areas are going to be a bit busier, we can keep the stop signs and see how it goes. And looking here, that's looking worse, to be honest. I feel like the stop signs have made it worse, and I get the feeling it's probably those ones, right? Just letting traffic go kind of crazy is probably just gonna let it through relatively quickly and without too much hassle, but it also looks kind of silly having all the traffic just sort of piling in like that. So I'm just gonna leave the traffic lights. I don't think there's a straightforward solution to that without rebuilding the junction, and I don't want to rebuild the junction right now, so we're just going to leave it as is. Whatever the case may be for traffic in the city, that's gonna do us for today. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.